dirt, building my dome. Concrete walls, yeah, it's my home. Stockpile stacked with rations tight. Prep for the dark, we'll light the fight. Forage the woods, take what I need. Off-grid living, no time for greed. Barter goods in the shadow shade. Tactical steps in plans I've laid. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepared for the fall. Yeah, prepared for it all. Generators hum, a comforting sound. Blackout nights when chaos surrounds. Seeds in jars, yeah, we're growing life. Homesteading strong in a time of strife. No high-tech wires, no web to roam. Resilience beats the world unknown. Hands in the soil, hearts in the fight. Staying ready every day, every night. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Back through the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Prepare for it all. When central power rules the game.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you guys are having a happy Friday. Looks like we got people popping into the chat from all over the world. It's looking good. It's looking good. Let's see here. We're going to set those super chats up. We just got the poll question in just in time. No, don't run off to answer it. I'm going to turn that on and let's see here. Start the goal. Here we go. Okay, guys, looks like everything is locked and cock. And oops, I am in live chat. And it was, I think it was Rose that was first already. Then number two, Deanna, you are deterred. We got West Virginia Pappy, Ian, oops, JB the 25th made it. And looks like there's Rose down there on the bottom. I need my coffee. I need my coffee like right now. It's been a couple of days now. Are you okay with me winning? No, you cannot. You're not allowed to win anymore for a while. That's just the way it's going to be. It's just the way it's going to be. So if you guys missed it last night, I actually did a interview with James from the Preparedness Broadcast Network or Prepper Broadcasting Network. Pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting guy. Had a good time. If you guys have not seen that yet, go watch that video after this live stream. It'll give you something to do with your time on a Friday afternoon. What will we do with our time on a Friday afternoon? Nobody knows. Miko just showed up. Well, I had my protein shake this morning, and it's getting harder and harder. It's getting harder and harder to stick to the whole protein shake thing when I really want like some bacon and eggs and stuffs like that. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Coffee is breakfast. There we go. There we go. Okay, guys. So let's go ahead and just get right into this. There's really not much to it's like the news is just constantly beating us to death. And so it makes it more and more difficult to just stick to the preparedness of preparedness, the things that we're supposed to be doing. I mean, this title, I mean, I've got 9 people in here. So it's like this isn't like what people are running to know about. So it's kind of funny, but basically, apartment homesteading, it's going to offer urban dwellers a way to, embrace self-reliance and sustainability without leaving the city. Now, if y- by creating, you know, or should I say, by creatively using limited space and resources, anyone can cultivate a homestead lifestyle in an apartment. Today, we're going to talk about some methods to actually achieve this, actually achieve this. And the first thing we have to do is we have to kind of understand the apartment homestead, you know. Um, Apartment homesteading challenges traditional notions of homesteading, which often evoke, images of rural farms with sprawling gardens and livestock. Instead, it focuses on applying homesteading principles such as self-reliance, sustainability, and community in small urban spaces. It's a mindset that prioritizes independence and resourcefulness, making it accessible even in compact apartments. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is working within our apartment constraints. Homesteaders in apartments they have to adapt to spatial and regulatory limitations. Structural changes like building a root cellar are typically not feasible for renters, and city ordinance may even prevent off-grid living or livestock keeping. Earning a living from the land is also impractical without acreage. However, creative solutions like balcony gardens or small scale crafting businesses also allow individuals to pursue homesteading goals. The key is to assess available resources, such as your balconies, your windows, your community spaces, and use them to foster independence. Now, I've got a list of the different ways that we can do all of these particular things in no particular order, and we're going to go over them. But before we do that, I'm going to go and go to the poll, and the poll question is which apartment homesteading method interests you the most? 67% say balcony gardening, 17% say urban foraging, another 17% say community gardening, and 0% say DIY composting. I, I, I don't know if composting's not that bad. And I think it's pretty important if you want to do your own gardening. So pay attention. Pay attention. All right, let's see here. This button. I'm gonna push this button. So I guess the first way. What we got something here in the Miko says. Let's see here. Miko says, turn your spare room into a guard. I guess your garden. All you need is a painter tarp that what floor is in low light, and you can grow your vegetables in your spare. So basically take a spare room and turn it into a garden room. That's really good. That's a really good pitch. I mean, if you look at the thumbnail that I made, it's exactly that. Just take your spare room, turn it into a garden room. Grumpy's here. Good to see you, my friend. Check out the Urban Farming Guys. It's an urban homesteading ministry. Let's see, toured their place in Kansas City. Very impressive. The content is a little old. Some good stuff though. Good to know. Good to go. Let's see here. Oops, says poop in buckets. No, that's not all what composting. That's Composting is generally getting rid of organic material that you can use later to make your soil more nutrient. It's that easy. It's not necessarily pooping in buckets. Miko says, or you can turn your whole apartment into a walking garden. You just got to learn how to pollinate your plants. That's interesting. That's definitely interesting. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about here is create an edible balcony garden. Basically, you want to transform a balcony or porch into a productive garden using planters, hanging pots, or vertical systems. Crops like tomatoes, peppers, and strawberries thrive in small places. Vertical planters optimize space and conserve water through flow through designs, while terraces expand growing areas from vining plants. Yeah, I think I like that idea. I always wanted to have like a terraced garden. I want to get one of those big hoops and like just grow things like cucumbers on one side and tomatoes on the other, and just like get it all the way to the top and nothing but just like an arch of food. All right, let's see here. The second thing we can do is we can grow an herb garden in our windows. Now, window sills offer ideal spots for growing herbs like thyme, basil, parsley. Small pots for hanging planters maximize natural light. Fresh herbs reduce grocery costs, and drying them ensures round-year use, even when plants go dormant in the winter. Yeah, and it's also pretty nice just to be able to, like, if you're cooking some spaghetti, to grab some herbs and just dice those up and put them right in your sauce, right out the window. It's pretty awesome stuff. Another thing that we can do is you got to get creative with composting. Yeah, that's right. I said it, composting. So, composting in an apartment is achievable with electric composters or DIY bins made of plastic containers. Now, these methods turn food scraps into nutrient-rich compost for gardens or community sharing. Composting also reduces methane emissions, contributing to environmental sustainability. So yeah, composting is our friend. Another thing we can do is we can join a community garden. Urban community gardens provide shared plots for growing food and fostering connections. And these spaces, are found in many cities, allowing residents to cultivate vegetables, fruits, and sometimes even keep small livestock, reducing reliance on commercial produce. Yeah, that's an idea. That's an idea. I'm gonna go to the chat here real quick. It looks like, and I apologize, chat's no longer over here. I had to turn it off because it was messing with the other software that I normally use. All right, let's see here. I like hydroponics. Bradley says I like hydroponics. Setup. Got my first two cantaloupe yesterday. I got seven more growing. Yeah, we've seen the pictures, Bradley. It's freaking awesome, dude. You have a green thumb, my friend. Can I move this? What am I doing here? Let's move that over a bit. There we go. You have a green thumb, and I even showed those to the girlfriend. She's like, it's impressive. I like it. Let's see here. Mika Rose says Mika reminds me of the other plant growers back in the day. Bradley says 5-gallon buckets with single pepper plant can produce peppers. Yeah, it's true. Let's see here. Says chat rate is BS. What's our chat rate? Who's our top fans? Rose is the top fan with 100 XP. Miko is 75. Oops is 75. Bradley, and then yeah, fighting to be the top chatter. You're talking about oops, or aren't you in third place or something like that? Yeah, you're in like third place, man. Let's see here. Miko says tomatoes self-pollinate. You can grow in your house. I do every winter. Just a grow light bell pepper self-pollinate perfection to grow in your house. There you go. I live up. Miko says I live up in north countries, and you can't grow vegetables outside because of the snow. That's a thing. Green room. You need a green room. Rose says, remember your apartment patio does have a limit. Don't overload it. Yeah, exactly. Those like especially on the high-rise buildings, those patios only have a certain weight limit. It's normally a couple thousand pounds, but I mean, why would you want to push that? Uh, I was robbed. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going here. Let's see here. Make sure that's not the girlfriend. It is not. Oh, that's the notification. 16 minutes late. All right, so the next thing you do is something called a ninja garden. So starting a ninja garden, but you plant in public spaces like walkways, sidewalks, or empty lots. known as guerrilla gardening. Maximizes unused urban land. Small berries, bushes, or vegetables can uh, beautify an area, attract pollinators, and provide food. However, such gardens risk removal by the city authorities, requiring resilience and adaptability. It's like somebody was telling me the other day that there were tomatoes growing in a ditch on the side of the highway. And it's like, and they were pretty tomatoes too, but it's like, I don't know if I'm going to eat that because pretty much any kind of uh, tomatoes a fruit. If you didn't know, they pretty much they're all water, and wherever they got that water from, it's going to have the stuff that was in that water. So not a great idea. But I mean, if you got like some ditches out in the middle of nowhere, have fun, have at it. All right. Next thing we can do is we can become an expert urban forager. Foraging in urban areas yields edible plants like dandelions, plantain, cattails. I personally won't eat a cattail unless it's like I'm gonna die. You can join local foraging groups, and it's going to help identify safe seasonal plants, enriching pantries and medicine cabinets with free resources. Let's see here. Wildcraft, the world around you. You can use homegrown or foraged plants to create teas, oil infusions, or seasonal mixes. An example would be like mullein tea or thyme infused oils, enhance nutrition and self reliance, connecting urban dwellers to nature even during the winter time. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the chat here real quick. I was robbed. Bradley says, yeah, if you tap your tomato stems near the flowers, it will increase pollination rates. Okay. Grumpy says, during a collapse, set up a humanure system in a rolling trash bin. Not a lot of grass cutting or hay, though. Humanure. Are you talking about uh, people poop? What's humanure? I mean, am I saying that right? Nico says, go to my YouTube page. See my garden out back every year. The backyard expanding. Nice. Nice. Cattails, nature's corn dog. No, it might look like that, but that is not the case. That is not the case. Rose says the problem with foraging, you need to know if the city/communities spray the area with toxic chemicals. That's true too. That is very true. And Oops says, tickle flowers with feathers. Does that work? Is that a thing? Interesting. All right. I think it's time to take a sip of the coffee. And what's our poll saying right now? Our poll is which apartment homes, we got 11 votes. Which apartment homesteading method interests you the most? 55% say balcony garden, 27% say urban foraging, 9% say DIY composting, and 9% say community gardening. All right, let's go. Prepare for anything, guys. Prepare for anything. That's one of the topics here. So, emergency preparedness in apartments requires creative storage solutions such as vertical shelving for dehydrated foods and gravity water filters. Since indoor fires are impractical, focus on non-cook food options and compact gear. Also, recycle or upcycle everything. So, repurposing old items like turning a bookcase into a planner or shelving unit to reduce waste, shopping secondhand for household goods or clothing further minimizes consumption and fosters sustainability. So, they call it they call it upcycling. Some people say repurposing. Basically something that did A in the past can now do B in the future. The other thing is fix things up yourself. Learn to repair furniture, appliances, or other buildings, or other items that's going to build confidence and save you money. Bartering repair help with neighbors for food or services strengthens community ties and reinforces self-reliance. Looks like Bradley says freeze-dried tomato powder makes great seasoning for my dishes, for your food dishes. Gotcha. Rose says the root of the cattail can be dried and be a root veggies or dried and ground for flour substitute. Very true. Very true. All right. The next thing you do is make things yourself. Crafting items like scarves or holiday decorations is going to reduce reliance on store-bought goods. These skills can evolve into a side business if you get good at it, generating income to fund other homesteading projects. This is very similar to the people that do honeybees to pay for the rest of their preps. Some people do it as a business. The next thing we can do is we can turn off the dryer. Now, what does that mean? It means air drying clothes on a collapsible rack because it conserves energy and space. Indoor or outdoor setups work well in apartments, reducing utility cost and environmental impact. Looking at the chat, Miko says, use a small paintbrush to pollinate the flowers so that it could be tickle them too. I got you. I got you. Miko loves to tickle these flowers. This seems like a thing. All right, cooking from scratch is probably the next thing on the list. Cooking with bulk ingredients like beans and rice, supplemented by garden produce, saves money and tomatoes. Saves money and promotes health. Using vegetable scraps from soups, for soups or stocks maximizes resources and reduces waste. Let's see here. Bradley says, sun chokes grow amazingly. I don't know what a sunchoke is. Well, amazingly well, and many do not know, but it grows like wild weed, and the roots are basically potatoes. That's pretty freaking awesome. Hanging on the door to dry. Okay, sunchokes hate wet feet. Okay. Gnostic says, "Hey, good morning, Gnostic. Save money and tomatoes. Yes, West Virginia Pappy apartments used to have clotheslines between buildings before dryers. Very true." Rose says the cattail, when dried, can be used as a torch, and the leaves can be used for weaving containers or mats from ground cover or primitive shelter. Let's see here, and the sunchoke is a Jerusalem artichoke. Sunchoke, Jerusalem. I got you. Got you. All right. So the next thing on the list is reduce food waste. We want to plan meals to avoid overbuying perishable goods. This is actually a problem that I have. I've thrown a lot of food away in the last month or so. Um, Compost organic waste, freeze or uh, can leftovers, and share excess with neighbors to minimize waste and build community. Um, I hate to say this, but we can also do something called ditching trashy dish dish ditch trashy in packaging. Avoid plastic heavy products by buying whole produce, bulk grains, and meat from butchers. Reusable bags, cups, and cutlery further reduce environmental impact. FIFO, first in, first out. There you go. I need to take a sip of coffee. I'm having a real problem. I am not awake. I made coffee and like 2 hours ago and then never drank it. So I'm just literally getting my first cup in right now. All right. So there's something called a CISA program, and it's probably not a bad idea to join if you live in the city. And it's called it's a CSA, the Community Supported Agriculture Program, and it connects residents with local farmers for fresh, affordable produce. It's just that easy. They support local economies and reduces supermarket dependency. So basically, you can get it straight from the farm, that kind of thing. You just got to drive out there and get it. Just got to be part of the program, though. So find that, sign up for it, that kind of thing. Let's see here. Challenge yourself to buy locally is a thing. Producing from farmers, markets, local artisans, and neighbors, it strengthens community bonds and lowers carbon footprint. Local bookshelves, local bookshop shops or craft sellers offer sustainable alternatives to big box stores. And then obviously the big thing for us in the preparedness community is learn how to can food. You know, canning preserves the seasonal abundance, like berries or meat, for year-round use. Water bath canning suits high-acid foods, while pressure canning handles low-acid items like chicken. And obviously, one things that I would really like to try is fermentation for preservation. You know, well, fermenting vegetables like cucumbers or peppers creates uh, probiotic-rich foods, just really, really good for your guts. And frankly, in a survival situation where food is, well, you're kind of sustaining yourself on food that you either would or would not normally eat. There's going to be higher stress levels, things like that. Taking care of that gut health is actually pretty important, and the probiotics that are created from fermentation are really good for you. Now, simple methods or traditional crocks make this accessible, extending food shelf life and enhancing flavor. Most of these types of dishes are very, very yummy, very yummy. All right, let's see here. Make medicine from scratch. Homemade remedies like cough syrup from honey or salves from herbs reduce reliance on pharmacies. Forage plants like dead nettle can treat minor ailments, saving money and promoting self-sufficiency. Hmm, yeah. And then we can also make our own cleaning supplies. You know, DIY cleaners from vinegar, baking soda, or homemade soaps are cost effective and eco-friendly. Adding herbs enhances scent, making cleaning sustainable and personalized. Personalized cleaning. This is kind of funny. YouTube says there's only 3 people in here, guys. Do me a favor. Put a one in the chat if you're a living, breathing human being. Put a one in the chat. I'm going to sip a cup of coffee. I don't know what in the heck is going on this morning, but yeah, I'm gonna go to the chat while you guys do that. Listen, I planted 8 of them last year in a garden. There's over 80 this year. Wow, that is crazy. So the Jerusalem artichokes really like they like replicate themselves. Hmm, that's crazy. Let's see here. Jerky. Use a 5-gallon bucket to grow root vegetables. I have carrots and radishes ready to be plucked. Make sure you poke holes in your 5-gallon buckets on the bottom. Gotcha. Let's see here. Sauerkraut delicious. Let's see here. Check your local county extension office for canning information and education. Home of the 4-H and women's groups. There we go. There we go. And looks like we got a few people here. We got Tucson Prepper. We got LMDMT is talking to us. Creative Redundancy. Gnostic is here. Where are we at here? I just saw Puck V showed up. There you go. Oops. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the hell. This is kind of weird. What's it say on your side? Because on my side in the software, it says there's only 5 people in here. It's, that's, I know that's not right. I don't know what the hell. I mean, clearly you could see it on the screen. Like, anyway, anyway. Okay, guys. So we've made it halfway through. We're halfway through the show today. The show this morning. We might spice it up a little bit and talk about a few other things because let's face it, this is an educational channel and this stuff's educational and it can be boring sometimes. It really can be boring sometimes, and I don't like to bore people. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the commercial real quick here. I've got something a little bit new for you, a little bit of old mixed with a little bit of the new. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'll be paying attention to it and clicking out of it as quickly as I can. Here we go.
I don't know how he got it, but I do know where it came from. The answer is China. I was just curious if I could just break it with my bare hands. The answer to that is yes. So the next time you're like, I could get it cheaper on Temu. Yeah, you can get it cheaper. That doesn't mean it's better. And this thing is not required to save your life. This is just to put your cool guy nods in so you can operationally operate like an operator. Here at Refuge, we make shit in America literally right here in this sew shop. You could have that, or you could have guaranteed forever for life.
Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I stole that from his TikTok page. It's just uh, the reality is that hold on, let me push the damn button here. Oh, let's do this right. The reality is that it's just the best gear on the planet, and that's why I talk about it so much. I think it's kind of like the niche. It's like that piece of gear that we know we're going to pay a little bit of money for, but we also know is the best on the planet. It's got to work out of the box every single time. All right, guys, let's go back to the main. Let's see here. Did you watch West Virginia Pappy says, did you watch? And guys, you know what? I think we're just going to let you talk about whatever you want to talk about right now. This is I have some expanded recommendations for the prepping inside or homesteading inside of an apartment, but that's people don't want to hear that stuff. That we did what we had to do. It's like the teacher who taught the class that he knew was really boring and everybody's really boring, and he did what he had to do to get the information out to you. And now let's like make paper planes and shoot sped wads at the roof and listen to our Walkmans. But put stuff in the chat and we shall talk about it. So I see West Virginia Pappy. Did you watch SpaceX launch carrying lunar landers? No, I did not see that. I did not see that. I've been kind of distracted lately, but I am a huge SpaceX fan. So I will definitely have to go back and watch that just cause. Did they use the big rocket, or did they just use the regular? Did they just use the regular the Dragon? Let's see here. So cool to stand up. Cheaper usually means engineered obsolescence. Yeah, I mean that is true to an extent. I try to find like mid-grade stuff. It's like if the product that you need must work out of the box, no questions asked, every single time, then you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for those kind of things. You can get away with mid-grade gear. It's like that gear review that I did on that survival kit that I was telling the members about last night. It's a great kit. It's a great kit. You know what I'm saying? Everything in it is probably from China, but it's all mid-grade stuff that isn't going to immediately fall apart. I think the weakest link would be the whistle. It just doesn't. It looks like if I banged it on a rock, it would break. But I mean, it's a whistle. You know what I'm saying? So let's see here. Oh, they use the Falcon 9. Gotcha. Let's see here. Falcon Heavy is awesome. I love watching Falcon Heavy land. Those two coming back. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. Can't go to the moon. You can't leave the petri dish. Miko says, and you can buy dwarf trees, fruit apples, cherry trees, and you can grow them in your house. Only get 6 feet tall. Nice. Nice. I like it. Let's see here. Tuffy says Doomsday Queen is doing $5 prep videos on Wednesday. Good for her. Good for her. Vegan Cookies just woke up. What a slacker. Been up for hours, man. I've been up since like, I don't know, 6:45, something like that. All right, let's see. There's nothing in the chat. Let's see here. Nuclear reactors on the moon. Yeah, well, so there's a lot of people that are talking about this whole nuclear reactor on the moon thing. And like, we can't even get enough power for people here in the world, roar. Look at the Viking program, look at the Pioneer program. Those are all nuclear reactors floating in space. You know, um, well, they're not technical nuclear reactor. They're they derive their energy source from a piece of nuclear fissionable material. But anyway, it's like so no one said, hey, no, we don't have a nuclear reactor, so you can't send it into any space. No, it's not fair. We don't have solar panels, so why are you sending them into space? So this argument just doesn't have any weight. It's all whatevers. And the thing is if you're on the dark side of the moon, you're going to need power. You're not going to get no solar panels to work, that kind of thing. You're going to need a nuclear reactor. It's that easy. It's that easy. The physics are a little bit different because, the microgravity and some of the stuff that goes on in space that would just kill a human the second. I mean, if you know anything about space, space was designed to kill a human, kill anything. And pretty much everything it does will kill you. So, I don't have a problem having a nuclear reactor on the moon. I mean, we've been talking about putting a moon base on the moon since Apollo. Somebody's finally doing something about it. So there's going to be people that have this big cry fest about what we're doing on the moon. These are children. These are children in adult bodies. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I'm so glad that I was not raised that way. It's so my and these people don't even I wonder if they like I wonder at what age, other than Bernie Sanders, they like have that aha moment in their old age where they go, the things that I'm saying are really freaking stupid. Why am I like this? It's crazy. Let's see here. Nuclear reactors on the moon. I've seen tower plants for indoor and small spaces. I like that. Drinks coffee, listens, and reads. There you go, Creative Redundant. Good to go. Let's see here. Fusion is 10 years away, it's always said. Cold fusion. You're talking about cold fusion, right? Yeah, the magical mystery of cold fusion. Debbie showed up late, but here. There you go, Debbie. The vacuum sucks. Ah. Nico says Obama and Biden, they shut down all the nuclear power plants, now returning back on the science. Trump's back in office. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's so the whole green energy idea was based on not polluting the environment. Nuclear power plants do not pollute the environment. In fact, they're one of the cleanest sources of energy that we have. Yes, they do produce nuclear waste. Okay. Yes, we do have to store and take care of it and do something with it. At some point, we'll probably find a way to just shoot it into the sun. You know what I'm saying? There's an idea, NASA. Just shoot the nuclear waste into the sun. Over. Problem over. Okay. Um, but it's 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 so ridiculous. So yeah, and the thing that Cap Red Tie is talking about is creating small or micro plants, micro nuclear power plants. The big companies, especially people in the AI world and technology industry, are like, yeah, we really want to do that. We really want to do that. What's his name? Had that old Iron Man had his own power plant for his company. You know what I'm saying? They all want that because they understand the needs of the drains of electricity or power uh, caused by AI. I don't understand that whole idea, but okay, I believe you say it's so. It's so. I believe you. There's no reason not to. But anyway, yeah, I mean, there's no reason. There is no reason why every little rural town can't have their own nuclear reactor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to have some smart people to run the damn thing, and that guarantees smart people live in your neighborhood and smart people will buy your products. You know what I'm saying? It's just smart. It's just smart all the way around. Let's see here. Where are we at here? Bradley says, speaking of trees, I see a guy that grafts different types of apples on one tree. Yeah, I've seen that before. Tree grafting is actually pretty cool. Let's see here. Ian says the Japanese have developed a small nuclear reactors that can fit in a 40-foot Connex box that are neighborhood safe. Ooh. I don't know about that whole neighborhood safe thing. Okay. And the reason is because if there's the reason the nuclear power plants are away from everybody, or supposed to be until all the realtors like, hey, there's some great land. We'll just build right next to a nuclear power plant. The reason why they built nuclear power plants away from people is in case of meltdown situations. But yeah, I've seen that box. It's interesting. Um, I think there's a lot of facts around it that make it smart. But I don't know that I'd want that in my neighborhood. I want that to be outside of my neighborhood. And I don't believe anybody's gonna like start to glow because they walk past it. You know what I mean? Our kids were hitting balls against it or something like that. I don't believe that. But the possibility of a nuclear meltdown is always just that. It's a possibility. Let's see. Rose says, "Don't think of the dark side of the moon, but hope they can not turn it into a dump." Yeah, well, unfortunately, human beings, we're consumers, and we do things like that, and but living in space, like I said, everything in space is focused on one thing, killing human beings, killing life, and so yeah, they would definitely have to have some very strict protocols about dealing with waste. They'd probably be able to use the waste to create some form of electricity, basically like steam generation, burning it off, something. There's some smart guy someplace that's figuring all that stuff out. Let's see. Miko says we got a moon base on the moon already. You can't handle the truth by the federal government. Yeah, I've heard some talk about that. Um, I've really, I hate to say it, but I heard it on Redacted, and I always watched Redacted. But lately, they've been doing some serious tinfoil hat stuff. I got to find a balance here, guys. I can't be going off into left field wearing that tinfoil hat every single day. You know what I'm saying? Um, Here's what I would say: prove it. You know what I'm saying? In 20 years, and I'm on my deathbed, and then like, oh, there's pictures. The moon base has been there for 50 years. Um, it's interesting, but it's hard to believe. Bradley says, isn't the going theory the black budget program have all the 0 point energy stuff figured out, but too classified to release it? I'm not up to speed on 0 point energy. But unfortunately, what we're finding out is that all of the money that, the unmarked money, the non-earmarked money, the blacked budget has been getting filtered into the DNC, is what we're finding out. There's actually, I want to say like, I want to say it was Colorado where they actually proved that government funds uh, were getting funded or were getting pushed into NGOs, and then the NGOs in turn would fund political campaigns. I mean, like flat out fund the political campaigns. So it's hopefully they're getting a handle on all that. Let's see. Rose says nuclear power plant in Michigan. We have noted the fish life are thriving in the warm water near the plant. Yes, they also grow a third eye. But yeah. Miko says plants use carbonate oxide, and they spit out oxygen, which we use. Think about it. Yeah, it's true. Let's see. Every town needs a Homer Simpson. I know, right? I don't want to be that person, but it's funny. Miko says gasoline vehicles push up carbon dioxide. Plants, we suck that up and push out oxygen. It's true. Miko says, I want my nuclear power car like they did in the 1950s car show, only have to fill up every 40 years. Yeah, that would be interesting. Oops says free electric is in the air. Tesla kind of showed a little bit of that. And Miko says free energy in the air, Tesla coils. You have that on your cell phone wireless charging. Interesting. Interesting. If we look at, I'm going to take a look at the poll here real quick here because you guys don't care about the poll anymore. We've got 18 votes, 44% say balcony gardening, and 28% say urban foraging, 22% say community gardening, and 6% say DIY composting. West Virginia Pappy says, I want my flying Jetson car. I was told I would have. I know, right? They lied to us. They all lied to us. Absolutely. Okay, guys, I'm out of steam. You're out of time, and the chat is kind of dead. This was a really bad subject to pick on a Friday, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, guys, I think we're going to basically call it right now. I want to thank you guys all for hanging out with me. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Members, you can find me in the Discord. I'll be making a couple more videos today. Also, my review of that survival kit will drop tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. if you are interested. As usual, guys, stay safe. Have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye bye.